Hey, Pate, you watching football?
It's a whole channel dedicated to nothing but fantasy.
And welcome everyone to In Your Face Week.
Dos.
I'm your host Jay, and the man to my right is the only witness to know that I invented groceries to go,
Keith.
and the guy that still has trouble spelling Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
Tuscaloosa. It's right.
Is that right?
You must have looked at Google.
Can a man from Hawaii speak English?
Oh my gosh.
Probably can't.
Okay, just checking.
Jeez.
We're here to give you a little bit about something, a whole lot about nothing. Obviously. What better way to waste your time?
I got a couple ideas in mind.
But I wouldn't give it to him. So, starting off, we had a lot of injuries this week. David Johnson out for 12 weeks.
hurt my wrist.
Let's take a moment for David Johnson and the David Johnson owners. All right, no, what that brought up was a lot of waiver wire picks. People trying to find the right guy. Who is going to be that guy?
Will it be Kerwin Williams?
Will it be Andre Ellington?
Apparently, Keith
Or-
didn't get the memo. It could be Chris Johnson.
Or it could be Chris Johnson.
I had a really good joke set up there, but it just
I'm not.
it fell through.
It's all right.
I thought we were going with that.
My whole thing was I didn't pick any of the three.
I did pick up Kerwin Williams. I believe he'll be the starter, but I've got room to put him on my bench and see what happens.
He's a rookie. When they asked David Johnson who was the best player besides David Johnson on the team, he was the first person that he answered. So I feel like he's probably going to get the start at least.
Yeah.
They're going to
But-
kick the tires on him.
But why even bother re-signing Chris Johnson then?
Exactly.
What's the point, man?
Depth, and you never know when somebody's going to break a wrist.
What are you talking about? Chris Johnson's getting old, man.
Yeah, well,
He did that a little bit too well with the wrist.
but he's actually a lot richer than David Johnson. He's got more money than anybody on that team.
He's
bro.
freaking retired by now.
Did they give
That's
him
why
all
he
that?
slowed down so much.
Did they
That wallet.
He did get all
Got
of
a
that
little
money.
heavy.
He did get that.
Yeah, he got all that money.
Yeah, that was quite a chunk.
Cold, hard cash.
That's right. Another guy that was out there, Tariq Cohen. I picked him up. I think he's going to be good option, good flex play. He's receiving back, so
I think he might be the reverse Ty Montgomery from last year.
Ty Montgomery.
Wide receiver that turns into a running back that turns into a wide receiver.
They're transformers.
The best part about it is they don't have anybody else to throw to.
No.
So
Well, they could do like Jay Cutler and throw to people on the other team.
Hey, they got Kendall Wright.
they do have Kendall Wright. Moving on.
Anybody picking up Kendall?
I was gonna say, hey Tennessee Titans, how'd that work out for you?
Kendall.
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 Hey, I've got one of those. They're pretty good. You read them in the bright sunshine.
It's got the anti-glare.
Oh, we're not talking about that one?
What I am worried about with Tariq Cohen is they're facing Tampa Bay this week. So the defense they had last week is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be harder to do those swing out passes, and Tampa Bay is notorious for shutting that down. So some of the other players that got picked up, Carson from Seattle.
Yep.
Not really sure what's going to happen there in that whole thing they've got going.
Well, I thought Eddie Lacy would fit that system very well. 3 carries, no yards really at all.
I think they'll give him another
Precise
go.
really didn't do much. Carson really only had the one big run. Thomas Rawls coming back.
I think they'll give Eddie Lacy another go. If not, he's heading to Carolina.
They might could use him in Indianapolis.
I'd say
Or Cleveland.
Indianapolis could use this.
I think
Cleveland.
Indianapolis could use an entire new team.
But moving forward, I mean, Thomas Rawls, Carson. I like everybody that's playing in Seattle this week because they're playing against that crappy San Francisco defense.
So what that means is all 4 running backs will be good for about a point apiece.
I mean, I'm still benching Rawls.
You're benching him?
I mean,
That
you
right
can
there
do
should
that.
tell you all you need to know.
You can do that when you have Kareem Hunt and
Yeah, that's true.
Dalvin Cook.
This guy that I was talking about last week, I need a loan. So, moving on.
Hunt's not going to cover 40 points every week.
Matchups this week. I've already mentioned Seattle. Anybody playing the Colts?
That would be the Arizona Cardinals.
Yep.
So if you happen to have, Carson Palmer or Larry Fitzgerald.
It's a perfect game for them to just take those 3 running backs and rip it up.
Kerwin Williams.
Showcase the crap out of all 3 of them. The one that does the best, start him. The one in the bottom, trade him.
So that means all 3 running backs get 2 points.
I'm going to predict that. However, I can see them all getting at least 8 to 10 touches.
At least.
And with our usual Cleveland watch, they're going against the Baltimore Ravens, the old Cleveland Browns.
Right. A lot of people have handcuffed Danny Woodhead with Allen. It's going to be interesting to see what happens there. I just don't see anything until they get that fire. They get that guy. They're going to be hurting at running back. I mean, it's almost like the whole Rice thing.
I think Baltimore might be the worst to-win team after Sunday. I mean, their defense is still good, but they just don't have anyone on their roster that I think is fantasy relevant.
Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. I believe if they're going to show out, they're going to have to do it. I look for New Orleans to pound the ball against New England just like Kansas City.
And I look for them not to have anywhere near the success that Kansas City did. Of course, wait a minute now. Wasn't Kansas City 2 out of 3 touchdowns for Kareem Hunt on the air?
I believe that if New England does not get that defense fixed real soon, we might have our first 200-point game.
It would be awesome because New England's going to do the exact same thing.
Yeah, this game may end up being 74 to 62.
I dare say it should be one of the highest over-unders of the week besides Green Bay.
Yeah, I will agree.
Wow.
Play Brandon Cooks. Play
Key players.
any wide receiver from New Orleans.
Any of them.
If you can remember their name.
Play any of them.
You could actually probably play the offensive guard for New Orleans and get points.
One of the things we brought up earlier, tight ends, it seems that the highly drafted tight ends did mediocre, whereas the bottom feeders really showed out this week. You had Jesse James, you had the guy from Atlanta,
Austin Hooper.
You had
Kobe Fleener.
Yeah, Kobe Fleener.
Always a boost to your career to be referred to as bottom feeder.
I always say, just hold it
Well,
out.
I mean-
because those tight ends are going to show up just like the quarterbacks. The highly drafted quarterbacks didn't do so hot this past week in fantasy, but they will eventually.
Yeah, they'll still come around, and don't think that the fool's gold that was Austin Hooper is
100%.
All the glitters,
100%.
all the glitters is not gold.
That's not something that I would
That
throw
go-
all my chips on.
That
immediately.
especially goes in New Orleans.
Also, on the same turn of the coin, the quarterbacks that did very well last week, the Alex Smiths, the Matt Staffords,
Sam
Bradfords. I wouldn't just go picking them up off the waiver wire just yet because the test is yet to come. I say we will know around week 4 what those guys are. A lot of people have gotten frustrated because there's certain people that they drafted highly. Dak Prescott went pretty high for a quarterback. Going to running backs, Marco Murray. Some of these guys that were drafted highly but didn't do so hot. I still think that it's there. The magic is still there. It's just going to take time.
Carson Palmer, he owes me one. Or he owes me about 10, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking to see what the Jacksonville Jaguars defense comes back after that performance last week.
I'm willing to say that it's not going to be. Now, the defense is probably the real deal. I don't believe that they're as good as they looked last week.
I don't think they're as good as they looked last week, but is it going to be someone that you can play all year, or are you still looking for a streaming defense?
Exactly. Because as far as offense goes, Jacksonville has.
They're going to
Leonard
have.
Fournette.
Yeah, they're going to have to keep these games 14-10.
Well, with all that being said, we got a lot of 0-1 teams. Somebody's got to come out a victor. Those are the ones I'm looking forward to.
Oh, yeah, especially in our league.
And then you have those teams that are 0-1 playing that 1-0 team that stomped everybody last week and could see if they are the real deal.
Jaguars versus the Titans.
I'm talking about.
You're talking about in our league.
Yeah, I'm talking about in fantasy.
I don't
You're talking about fantasy.
I'm
talking about real games.
Yeah.
I don't see 32 points out of your defense again, Tony. I don't see 40 points out of Kareem Hunt every week.
So we're going to find out what Tony's team is made of after this week.
I still
at
think
least-
putting up at least 4 spots.
Hey, let's put it this way. For as pathetic as my team looked, they actually outscored last year's week 1.
All right, guys. Apologies to Adam the Woo. We're going to send you over to the sleeper segment. To everybody at home, get your pets spayed or neutered. We'll see you next time.
All right, guys, time for another edition of Tony's Fantasy Sleepers this week. Couple names I got this week are all a couple of players that I think might get moved up the depth chart a little bit because of injuries. We have Kendall Wright out of Chicago, the old Tennessee Titans wide receiver. Up next, we've got Kenny Golladay, wide receiver out of Detroit. And last but not least, I don't know how much of a sleeper we can call him at this point, but I really like Kerwin Williams going forward, the running back. I personally do believe that he is going to take over the David Johnson role. I wouldn't say start these guys just yet, but add them to your bench, see what they do over the next couple weeks. And with that being said, guys, I'm going back to bed.